Hi, welcome to your July Pickup Pile reading. I was inspired to do this specifically via all the questions that I received from my Tarot and Chill live streams that I've been doing. Lately, many people have asked for a card pull regarding what they think the vibe of this month will be for them. As I put in the description, while this reading is for the month of July 2025, I have placed the intention that it be timeless, so that if this video has found you, whenever in time it has found you, then it's perfectly meant for you, and now is the perfect time for you to watch it. So thank you for tuning in. I just like to give this moment to you to take a breath, not just to pick which pile resonates with you best, as I usually do, but to double check in with yourself that you watching this video is what is best. I don't want to be the type of people that convinces you, the type of reader that convinces you that if this has found you, then it's the perfect time. Yes, obviously, but I'd also like to, as I usually do in my work, I like to emphasize the fact that you are in ultimate control of your perceptions, of your reality, and whether or not someone else claims that now is the perfect time or this is the perfect video, you're the only one who can decide that for yourself. If you are still watching, that means that that is the case, and I hope that you have taken a breath to ground yourself. Picking or imagining the numbers 1, 2, 3 in your head, and picking the number that resonates best with you. And then we play. I have linked the piles in the description of this video. However, in this moment, this is a live stream, so just be aware. Anyone tuning in, this is really just a pick a pile reading. I am not pulling cards for anyone in the chat. However, if you are, and as you're watching my work in general, thank you again for tuning in. I really love this work, and I very much appreciate being able to offer you this service. Before I continue on, I would also like to just remind everyone that in general, this is, as I put in the description, a highly anticipated month with a lot of energy, transitions, shifts. I have said this in previous readings that it feels a lot about this month like we are getting, it doesn't feel like a final chance, but a very huge and big chance to really rewrite our scripts, take control of everything we want about our lives, surrender, have fun, do wild things. There's a lot of energy in the air, and it feels like regardless of which pile you choose, we are in for a show. I am beginning with pile 1, group 1. So, pile 1, you're already hitting the ground running with the 3 of discs, the Tower, and the 3 of Cups. Immediately with these 3 cards falling out, group 1, I'm receiving that this month there will be a huge focus on friendships. It feels like there is going to be a lot of new ways of perceiving your friends that will be coming to light, that will help you understand which friendships need to go and which ones need to stay. As I mentioned in the beginning of this reading, this month is going to have a lot of planetary shifts and a lot of big changes happening that will allow us to take control, possibly take new kinds of control over certain ideas. And it seems like the idea that will stand out most for you is your area of friendships, communities, the people you work and network with. and possibly the blending lines of all of those things, where maybe the people you work with become your friends, or the people that you are friends with become people that you can actually start earning money with. All of these processes are going to be quite, I'm feeling like this emotion of, oh, wow. Like it doesn't feel particularly, well, this specific frequency I'm tapping into doesn't feel particularly bad. It just feels very surprising, like something you didn't see coming. So I suggest you stay open-minded about all the kinds of possibilities that your friendships can take on new forms and shapes. I'm also receiving that you should try to trust this specific frequency. I'm feeling into many, but this one that I'm tapping into, I feel as though you should do your best to trust, assume good intent. Yes, assume good intent in people unless otherwise shown. With the Tower, I am assuming that the part of the reason why you're allowed to assume good intent is because if there is any bad intent, it's going to reveal itself. There will be no hiding behind any lies or pretense. Following that frequency, I'm also receiving that if there is anybody in your circle who is untrustworthy or weird, anybody who may have been hiding things from you, or any group of friends who you may have thought before, there's something fishy about this one, the truth is going to come to light about everything. And I'm getting the sense that you're going to have to decide whether it's going to have to be a hard decision of whether or not you want to keep these people in your life. I'm also tapping into a wonder, into like a curiosity of why is it that this friendship, why will it be such a huge deal for me? Because I do think that in general, it's not something that many people ask for readings about. People normally ask specifically for love, for career, or for themselves, or for money. But I think that with you, Group 1, there is something about your friendship and your community in general that will have to come to the forefront so that you can understand how it is that the friendship energy is generally very important. I think that even as a greater collective, we're all going through realizing, or rather through de-escalating romantic relationships, and you may be a central part of those people who are realizing that romance should be decentered, and what will really last and stand through the test of time, and some platonic relationships even last through romantic shifts. What really stands the test of time is platonic connections, friendships. What is that line? Chosen family. Yes, chosen family. So I think as well that there may have been, up until now, and I know this is very true for myself, a lack of prioritizing. You may have underestimated how important friendships are to you. This month of July is going to show you exactly why it is that friendships are in fact very important and may be part of the most important connections that you have, especially Group 1, if you are part of the group of people in the general collective who have been forced into the situation of finding chosen family versus having reliable family. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to pull an extra card for clarification. And you have the Empress, which I think feeds into the first frequency that I was tapping into, which is the fact that you should assume good intent and open up to the possibility of your friendships taking new forms where you'll realize, hey man, I can actually trust these people. Or wow, I'm so happy that I chose in the way that I did, that I stuck with people. I'm getting the vibe of turning to your friends, turning to your network, the people you work with, colleagues possibly, and being like, wow, I cannot imagine my life without you. Look at where all of my choices have got me, to be in connection with people who I trust so much and who look after me. We look after each other. There's going to be a very tender realization of how well you are protected and looked after, and how sweet that is, and how safe you are because of that. Lifelong friendships are going to be formed during this month for you, which is very, very special. I love the feeling of connecting with someone, especially platonically, because like I said, platonic connections are very long lasting in a way that we really don't give enough credit for as a society. I love the feeling, and you'll know it. You'll also feel it in your body. You'll feel it in your body of connecting and talking to someone, possibly even making new connections. That might be something that comes this month. But all of these connections and these conversations and moments you have will all be things you feel in your heart where you realize you're actually never going to leave my side. I'm safe in this connection. You know, it's a huge blessing to have. And I hope that you open up to the change in perspective, because it also feels, group one, like you may or may not be someone who's used to being closed off. You have trust issues, just like I. So when these waves of emotion come, especially in your friendships and in circles where you wouldn't expect it, when these waves of emotions come, it feels like it may be something that you might want to resist at first, and you may want to say, I don't trust this. What if this person backstabs me like a past friendship did? What if they're a liar? Whatever. Try your best to always assume good intent. That's very important. And I think that in general allows for all kinds of connections, not just platonic. It allows for all kinds of connections between you and other people, between you and your life, to flow a lot better. Because at the end of the day, the universe is still looking after you, whether or not someone has bad intentions. So you'll be fine. Whatever needs to come to light will come to light. Nothing can be hidden any longer. And I'd just like to remind you of the possible frequency of friendships coming to the forefront so that they can be released. So while I'm generally feeling really beautiful, blossoming connections in friendship and networking with other people, I am also feeling that all friendships that don't reflect this kind of loving, blossoming, abundance, tenderness, they're going to fall away, and you should let it happen. And yeah, trust that everything is going as it should in general. I am now moving on to group 2, pile 2. So we have the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Cups, and the 7 of Discs. So I'm instantly receiving group 2 that you've been feeling through a lot of bullshit, and it feels like it's been tough. Like it's been a very heavy season of depression, possibly these past few weeks, maybe last month or so, which is true in my case. Absolutely, I'm there with you. There has been a collective awakening / dark night of the soul that's been hovering above us technically since last year, but very, very strongly into the change of seasons. Whether or not you have shifted from a warmer or colder season, it feels like this energy has been predominant for you. This emotion has been very above your head. And it's feeling especially, I'm feeling into the possibility that it's been especially puzzling for you due to the fact that, and I may because of these cards falling out, I feel as though I'm likely reading for somebody you are in the warmer part of the world, so that this feeling of depression and heartbreak is a bit puzzling for you because the shift of seasons, they normally welcome when things get warmer, they normally welcome this feeling of joy and happiness. And you may, outside of being in a warmer season, you may be surrounded by a community or a group of people who are happy. Everyone around you is happy and joyful. You are generally, like, your environment is generally peaceful, but you still feel awful inside. I am feeling as well, with all of these cards coming together, that whether or not what I've just read for you, group 2, is true, what comes for you this month is this energy is working towards these feelings of abundance, everything that this card represents, a joy, an expression of joy, really enjoying life. You are working towards it. You are focused on it. However, something about I'm receiving very much this frequency of depression and how you're contending with that emotion. And I'm also, this is a random one, but I'm receiving that you may or may not be someone who is depressed but does not rely on any medication to help you stay afloat, so that you're trying to face how to be happier as a person, holistically speaking. Even if you are on medication, it feels like there's something about the way that you have been contending with your mental illnesses, everything that you feel in your mind and heart. There's something about that's going to go through a restructuring or a regroup, so that either way you can come out a happier person by the end of the month. I'm receiving very much group 2, that highlight to finding holistic joy, where you're seeking to take happiness more in your own hands without having to rely on any external factor. More so, it's like you're trying to manifest, but you're trying to manifest, but you're trying to not just manifest. You're tapping into the line of manifestation that says, as within, so without. If you behave as if you've received everything you want, feel the frequency of the fact that you've gotten everything you want, then you'll get everything you want. It feels like you're trying very hard to work on that part, very intentionally, which is brilliant, because I think that the way that you are focused on that in particular, or if my saying this inspires you to do that, then either way, you are a very, very, very powerful person, and you are going to go through an energetic restructuring on a level that not many people, on a level that doesn't have a lot of language for it. You're going to become someone who, I was also receiving in general that you are going to become someone who alchemizes really well, but you alchemize energy. And so then what I'm saying might be at risk of being misunderstood, because with all of these cards falling out, it feels like you are working on a level of life that is extremely energetic, very emotional based. Like I said, not a lot of language for it. And this month may come with not many external changes, but an incredible amount of internal changes, where you may experience a lot of moments of synchronicity, a lot of really awesome coincidences that don't have the words, where it'll really just be between you, God, you and your angels. I am getting this sense as well that these moments of synchronicities and coincidences and stuff is going to have you looking at life you're going to really see the matrix of life, which is fun, but it can be a little bit, it's like a tweet that I saw recently that said, I zoomed out too far and now I see the script of it all. It feels like that's where you're going to be this month of July, which may leave you in a wonderful position to be an advisor, possibly help other people through their own heartbreaks and depression. But I do get the sense that, and I've experienced this frequency often, it does bring this feeling of boredom and like a slight existentialism, but not too intense where it's like you can't focus or anything, just more like, I don't know, I think you're going to really come to terms with how powerful you are, how your life is in your hands, and how you can manifest and bring joy to yourself out of thin air. You're going to have real I mean, you would think, looking at this for a second, would think otherwise. But I feel like with all of these cards falling out together in this way, you're going to have good control over your emotions. And should any vibes of heartbreak come out, you'll transmute them very, very well. They'll allow you to learn more about yourself and realign and understand your goals in life, like your actual goals, your soul purpose, so to speak. You're living on a very spiritual level this month. That's what I feel. But spiritual on the surface of how it connects to the material, not so spiritual like high priestess vibes, more like how your inner world reflects your outer world. The retrogrades that are happening this month might deeply affect you. I'm feeling into specifically from the middle of the month, around the 18th. I think there'll be a lot of inner messages, downloads. I'd suggest meditating and doing whatever you can to kind of get all of your emotions, to get your heart and to get your head and your heart working together more harmoniously, because it feels like that's what might be a theme, is to get those two working together. It feels like you're someone who's split often in those two areas where you may overthink or you may feel too much. I'm definitely both of those. I toggle between the two and I meditate a lot. And just as a suggestion, I will actually link a frequency binaural beat type thing that has been helping me very, very much lately to kind of balance my energy so that I feel calmer. I feel called to tap into the Seven of Discs really quickly. I'm not done, baby. Hold on. So the Seven of Discs, the upright interpretation, is a need for quiet observation before action, but also a need to check your underlying motivation, ensuring you aren't sabotaging your plans by lack of action, becoming aware of the body's messages, working with it for self-knowledge, recognizing your limitations. And I think that with both of the Nine of Cups and the Three of Swords falling out, these are very opposite energies to me, where this one represents harmony and a real balance in the external, and this one represents an imbalance, an internal imbalance, particularly with where the mind is trying to take over the heart and not listening to what the heart has to say. I'm also feeling the possibility of you having wonderful external experiences while you are not feeling too great, so that there has to be a kind of reassessing of what you actually want out of your life. And as the cards mentioned, realizing and coming to terms with what you want. All of the knowledge you need really is stored within your body. So work with your body as often as you can. Try to exercise, specifically weightlifting or yoga, things that can bring you in to activating different parts of your body so that they can come out. I've never tried this, but I have seen, I'm sure we've all seen by now on social media how helpful EFT tapping is. Tapping different energy points of your body so that answers can come, emotions can come. Somatic healing in general, womb massages, hand massages, feet massages, and as well massages of your lymph nodes. And breathing, lots and lots of breath work. It feels like you have a lot of revolutionary, life-changing energy stored up within you. It's I'm also getting the sense that you may have, I'm getting the sense that in the month of July, you're going to realize how much your inner energy, I'm just repeating myself, how much your inner energy influences your outer world. That's going to come to light, which is a wonderful realization. It comes with its own struggles, but to me, it's an intensely awakening experience, and it's very useful in order to get you to understand how powerful you actually are, all the things you can and can't control. It's a lesson of surrender as well. Like I said, very spiritual. I'm going to pull an extra card for you. You have received a 2-card special of the 8 of Cups and the Knight of Swords, which immediately tell me that as I'd opened up with for your reading, group 2, regarding the fact that you may still be, or you are finding yourself coming out of a very depressing dark night of the soul type season. It may have left you a bit guarded and scarred and wounded, but I get the sense that with the 8 of Cups, while you have all these wounds and scars and very high walls and you're very, very guarded, there is some wisdom to you. And ultimately, with the 7 of Discs, if you feel like you don't know the truth, trust that your body does. And if there's anything that you don't know, I think you can trust that the answers will come to you and your body will kind of just unlock and have its own realizations all in due time. All in due time is very important. However, you have to trust ultimately that you know. I'm getting a large sense of the fact that you really need to trust your intuition. However, hearing your intuition may be a little bit difficult, so try to open up. Try not to be so closed off, especially to feelings and experiences of joy. This card also speaks of the possibility of needing to behave joyfully and almost pretend, fake it till you make it kind of energy, which it also mentions in the interpretation isn't always a bad thing. So try to be open. Try to let whatever emotions of loss and heartbreak crack you open so that you can welcome more abundance and joy into your life. But there definitely will be some kind of cracking. You may have to cry a lot. Somatic healing does do that, where you find yourself trying to tap in and massage different parts of your body, and then suddenly you feel emotional and you want to cry. Let your emotions happen. Let them happen. I think it's very cool as well that you have the 8 of Cups and the 9 of Cups. I think that these two following each other so neatly like this tells me that you are also on a perfect, like you are aligned. Everything is perfect. And that, yeah, like I mentioned, if you don't know the truth, if you don't know what to do, what your next move is, if you don't know what's to come, then you can just trust that you're aligned and that your answers will come in due time. Everything is working out exactly as it should for you. And I hope that you can enjoy and trust that above all else. So I'm moving on to pile 3 now, and something interesting has happened, pile 3, where I had your pile put away and put to the side, and I picked it up and put it into the rest of the deck very like without thinking, which means that I'm about to, you are a pile that is going to get a fresh shuffling, which I don't normally do. I pick these cards before shuffling them. However, I put your pile away very mindlessly while I was reading for the other groups. So you get a live reading, like live on the spot. So I'm going to shuffle now for a few cards and see what comes up. I think that is a sign within itself, group 3, that so there's specifically a transit happening where Uranus is moving into Gemini from apparently 2025 to 2033. And I think that with that, I can assume that I'm likely reading for a Gemini placement or someone who's prominently Gemini-ish. If not in tropical astrology, then in sidereal. Please be open to both systems. All of that to say that you, off the bat, what I can say is that this month might be a bit of a wild card for you, in the sense that you may be someone who behaves on autopilot, or someone in your community behaves on autopilot, and you will be highly affected by that behavior. I also believe that anyone behaving on autopilot. I don't think autopilot is all that bad. While it is a bit mindless and disassociative, I think that someone behaving on autopilot is like someone behaving drunk, where it's like all of those little things that you do, they come from an extremely true part of you. And that true part is very important to take note of. So I think that may be a sign or some energy to work with for you, to just pay extra attention to what people do and to what you do. When you're projecting, when you're behaving on autopilot, when you're doing something mindlessly and you're like, wait, why did I do that? Yeah. I'm also getting the sense that it feels like there's something very important about living in the moment for you, group 3, that you have to go out of your way to practice so that you can get the most out of this month. Which to me is very scary, because that requires a kind of surrender that you don't see a lot of people doing that. And it may be that you behave from this place, you actively try to live in the moment, and then other people, it feels like that's when you are most likely to be judged or to be watched. I don't know, because living in the moment and surrendering is a very special frequency. Like I said, not a lot of people hold it. And I think that in general, we can all feel the energy and frequency of somebody who's living in the moment. We can all feel them in the room. So there's something about you being, you holding that energy, you being in control. I'm getting a possible superstar frequency, but not in a celebrity sense, more in the fact that it's like you're the center of, you'll be the center of the world. You'll be inspiring a lot of people should you choose to step into this request of living in the moment and being present. It feels like a lot of really special actions, decisions, perceptions, choices can come from you and your inspiration and intention to do that. That was a very random one with no cards pulled as yet, so let's see. Okay, your cards wasted. No time wasted. So you got the 2 of Rods, the 8 of Swords, and the 3 of Discs. And with all of these cards together, I am again receiving the frequency of superstar, center of the room type stuff. Again, not in a celebrity sense, not in the fame sense, so to speak, but more in the fact that you are a very powerful person. However, it seems like you're getting your own way a lot. And I think this month, with the suggestion that I gave of you needing to really try your best to be in the moment, live in the moment, try not to overthink. I think in general, you have thought, I think there's something about the overthinking that needs to tone down a little while not surrender. No, that's not the word I wanted to use. While not giving that intention up altogether. Because there's only some thinking in as far as, what do I want to do? What's next? Who do I choose to be? Analyzing what comes out when you choose to live in the moment or when you don't, and when you project. What are we working with here? Who are you really? It's a lot of self-inquiry that's going on with you. But 8 of Swords feels like a very important energy to unpack. It feels like this is the most important energy about yourself that you'll need to face so that you can move forward onto greener pastures and manifest your life and live more of your truest manifestations, and not something that you manifested for yourself because you thought someone else wanted, because you were trying to people please. That came out randomly, that you may or may not be someone who is very good at pleasing others but not good enough at pleasing yourself. I'd like to tap into the energy of the 8 of Swords. This frequency upright speaks of time to let go of ingrained patterns that have become limiting and counterproductive, choosing to see an impossible situation more positively, letting go of relationships that bind. And I think that this, with this card falling out, it also speaks of not just outer relationships, but your own relationship with yourself. That's something that is really prominent to me, is that you are someone who really gets in your own way and you really don't have to be that way. I'm receiving as well that you may also be something Leo, a Leo placement in your personal planets, or a Leo North Node or MC. But all of that to say that you have a lot of love, a lot of big energy. You really value yourself, but there may be something in the way that either you behave or other people behave towards you that does not reflect that value well enough. This may also be something that is true of your own life, so that you are somebody who has a lustful life. You love enjoying it. You want to enjoy life more, but something about the way that you perceive yourself, or something about the way that you've been living, maybe even something about the work that you do, doesn't reflect that truth. It doesn't reflect the fact that you actually enjoy life. Yeah, I think that's all that I'm receiving for right now. I feel like I've said everything I need to say. But also with the Two of Rods in general, you are walking towards success. Either way, you're walking towards a very good realization of understanding all the ways in which you have sold yourself short. You've been pinching yourself, like literally constricting yourself, via your potential to be able to enjoy life, live life better. It's like you're not trusting either of yourself or your circumstances. I received randomly just now that maybe you don't trust enough the people you work with, which is like confusing because no one is particularly untrustworthy. I'm receiving as well, you may have extremely high expectations either on yourself or others, which need to be loosened up a bit. Start to look at people in their more human forms, even yourself. Try to accept yourself more. I'm going to pull one more card. Wonderfully, you received the Chariot, which is absolutely brilliant. I think, again, this is bringing home a lot of self-work and a lot of the fact that you need to realize how valuable you are, how in control you are. It's like you've forgotten that you are gripping this. You have control over this, the movement of your life, of the way you perceive things, but specifically of where your life is going. It feels like you've been concerned about that. And possibly like you've been creating your own worries. Like you've just randomly started worrying about your future, your 5-year plan, 10-year plan, whatever. It also may be that like you are thinking too far. You're trying too much to take control of too many things at the same time, and you're kind of overwhelming yourself, but for no clear reason. Feels like it's all coming. It's like something within you. I've experienced this recently where it almost feels as if I'm creating panic and stress for myself because things have been peaceful for too long, and it feels like I don't deserve to chill, like I don't deserve this peace, but I always have. You always deserve moments of peace, and you don't always have to figure everything out. You don't always have to have everything figured out. And I hope that you can give yourself a chance to relax and chill a bit on that. I'm going to tap into the energy of the Chariot because in this deck that I'm using, it's a lot more nuanced in your typical words of success and da-da-da. The interpretation of this card says successful control of your life, order imposed over conflict, ability and ambition in tandem, focused will, conflicting influences in life, possibly between emotion and intellect, needing resolution before progress can be made, determination and healthy assertiveness. And I think this more has to do with what I've been talking about, where it's like you don't trust yourself enough, but you're going to learn how to do it so that you can navigate your life a lot better. You can move in your work and your material matters more comfortably. And all of this will lead to your manifestations falling into the hands of the version of you that's actually ready to use your manifestations, use your dreams to make more dreams come true, versus all of your dreams coming true and you don't know how to use them, so they all fall flat and just at the same time, and self-sabotage and all that stuff. You're guaranteed not to go through that frequency, and it feels like it'll be because of the work and preparation done in this month of July that will allow you to be able to handle your dreams better once they arrive, which I'm also receiving is fairly soon. It feels like it's on the horizon kind of thing, possibly the 8-8 portal, which apparently is going to be very exciting for all of us collectively. And I'm looking forward to it on a personal level. I hope you are too. But yeah, this is good news overall. It's just a matter of you needing to trust your process. And I hope that you can really come to doing that, learning how to do that properly this month. And that is the end of all of those readings. I hope that it was helpful. Please let me know in the comments. I don't normally ask of this, but I do love knowing how my resonates how my readings have or have not resonated with you. And if they have, please consider giving me a tip via PayPal or messaging me about the kind of exchange you'd be interested in, as I am always open to receive. Thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I will see you in the next one.